We're going to go ahead and get started uh, with our meeting. And the first couple of things I wanted to do was just do some updates on the clear cooperation policy. So I'm sure you've all, heard that because I discussed it in a Tuesday at 10 call, Zoom meeting, that National Association of Realtors has modified the clear cooperation policy. So the clear cooperation policy still exists. They've come up with what they call a delayed listing, which is very similar to MIBOR's pre-market listing. The difference is that it can be delayed for a set period of time, and it's up to the MLS what that time will be. So if you do a delayed listing, it goes into the MLS or BLC in our case. It goes in, it's visible to every realtor. However, it does not get emailed out to people. And it does not show up on the internet in IDX feeds. It only shows up on the BLC. So there's been quite a bit of back and forth over this whole thing. Compass Realty, they don't want clear cooperation policy at all. If Compass had it their way, the only way that you could look at Compass listings would be on Compass's website, and you'd use a Compass agent. So Compass is very upfront about what they want to do. They want to shut out every other real estate brokerage if they can, except their own. And there are some other large brokerages out there that want to do the same thing. They want to be able to advertise listings only on their personal or company websites. MIBOR, up to this point, MIBOR said any listing that you're marketing other than an office exclusive listing, if you have an office exclusive listing, you can't market it. If you have a pre-market listing, you can market it, but you can't show it. And it won't get sent out on the feeds. So with this new change, what NAR is saying is you have to be able to show it. So what it would look like in the future if MIBOR goes along with NAR, which they do, and they've already asked for input. You've probably got emails from them asking for input, but chances are they will kind of dovetail with the NAR policy. So they'll probably continue the pre-market because they're already set up for the pre-market listing thing. And probably the only change they will make is to make, they're going to do two changes. They're going to make sure that you can show it. I believe that they will do that. And they're going to add a form that you're required to get the seller to fill out, letting them know that their property is not going to be initially advertised on all of the on all the websites. Does that make sense? So the whole idea here being to keep the playing ground level and make sure everyone has opportunity to show that listing that's a member of the MLS. Which I think is a pretty good policy. Like I say, there are those that oppose that policy. But right now, that's where the NAR policy stands. So questions about that? Now, Zillow has come out and they've had an interesting thing. What Zillow says is if you list a property and it doesn't go out on the IDX feeds, in other words, it's not sent out to all the services, that they will not allow you to market it on their platform. even after you make it public. Okay. So even after you, like, it's permanently banned from Zillow if you don't list it with the MLS right away. Now, why are they doing that?
Punish you? Yeah.
Well, no, if everybody withheld their listings for, let's say, for a week, then Zillow would only have week-old listings to show the market. That would kill Zillow. So they're fighting. They want clear cooperation. They want every listing to be in the MLS, and they want that listing to be sent out to every service. So that's Zillow's position. That's also EXP's position, EXP Realty, that everything should go out immediately. So I think that, in my mind, I think that still the best strategy is to get as many eyeballs on your listing as you can right away, day one. And in order to do that, I think you need to put it out there for everybody to see, everybody to have access to, and get it out there on again, as many people to see it. I mean, if I'm competing against a Compass for a listing, and the Compass agent is talking about they're going to show it exclusively on their website, I think I could sell pretty effectively against that, because I'm going to tell them that that may be true, but what slice of the market do they have access to? Only their slice. So you're not seeing, everybody else isn't seeing that. The people out on Zillow and the people on Trulia and the people, on Realtor.com and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're not seeing that. So you're only getting a small percentage of the market to look at your listing. Do you want that? Or do you want everybody who could buy your home to see it? I think most people are going to say, well, I want everybody that could buy my home to see it. Why would I want to restrict it to one company? So, and you know that the motive of that one company isn't to take better care of their clients, but it is to uh, uh, give them an opportunity to do me and me's within the brokerage. So it's profit motive only. Is the only motivation that Compass has. They want to double end the transaction. They want to make sure that it stays within their brokerage and that they're not paying any fees to anybody else but their own people. So, second thing I want to talk about, Fisher's passed a 10% rental cap. Are you all aware of that?
Did it pass?
It passed. It passed. I think it's a bad move on Carmel's part. I think it infringes on property rights. I'm sorry, Fishers. But it's coming to a city near you. If Fishers gets away with this, Carmel will follow suit. In fact, I'm surprised that Carmel didn't do it before Fishers, but I think they have maybe a less problem. But you're going to see Carmel, you're going to see Noblesville, you're going to see Westfield follow suit if Fishers gets away with it. You'll see it happen into a community near you. It remains to be seen whether they will get away with it, because it may well be unconstitutional what they're trying to do. So we'll see. I'm sure that there will be lawsuits. And so it's not over till it's over. But I just want you to make you aware of it.
The main issue with it is it's not really going to prevent the big companies from doing what they're doing. Is that, and it's going to harm the one or two rentals.
Well, it harms everybody equally. The biggest harm comes to the homeowner who no longer has rights over their property. Now the government is saying you can't sell your house to certain people if you're within that rental cap. And so it's neighborhood. So if a neighborhood has over 10% rentals in it, you cannot sell your house to an investor. So they're taking it out of the HOA's hand.
60%, 70%.
Yeah. Those neighborhoods are all going to be grandfathered in. So if you already have a rental, it doesn't affect you. Only affects new rentals. So if a home came up for, same thing, it can't be a rental.
So if I
If
declare
the
my
neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Neighborhoods are.
If your neighborhood's at the 10% cap. So some neighborhoods, let's say Brooks Chase, where there's a bunch of rentals in there over 10%. If somebody wanted to sell their home in there that they own, they could not sell it to an investor because it would be over the 10% cap. So they can only sell it to an owner occupant. Right. Right. So it remains to be seen what the impact will be and whether this will actually go through. If Fishers is successful, you'll see it elsewhere in other communities, but I think it's a overreach of the government. I really don't think that it would meet the muster constitutionally. I don't think you can take property rights like that, but maybe you can. They have eminent domain. They just did. So it remains to be seen whether that will be stopped. So just want you all to know that that's what's going on.
If we list a property in Fishers, we probably should just put that in the age of March or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, and you might want to
prior
check.
to themselves.
Yeah, and you might want to check with the HOA to see what they're at. And I'm sure once they implement this, I mean, it's not been implemented yet, but there's going to be a registry. So all the rental units have to register. And so that way they can track down if there's any code violation, who actually owns the property. So all the landlords will have to register. I'm sure at some point you'll be able to just go online, look up a neighborhood, and it'll tell you how many rentals are in there, whether it meets whether there's room available for more rentals or not in that particular neighborhood. So I think you're going to see that coming up once they implement this, because Fishers tends to be pretty computer literate on getting things going. Help yourself to pizza down here. So I don't really have any updates for Realty World. I do want to give some recognition out and talk a little bit about. So in the month of March, we sold 2,611,950 in real estate. That was 9 transactions for the group. And our top salesperson for the month for March 2025 with 863,500 in volume is Ashley. So Ashley, you will come forward and give you your recognition. Let's see, I want to plug this in.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll get it on the video again. There you go, Ashley.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
There you go. Okay, so congratulations to Ashley. I am now going to share my screen. Okay, so now you're looking at my screen, and always have this trouble. Okay, so we're going to go to Bold Trail and the Bold Trail dashboard. So if you're following along on your computer, log into KV Core or Bold Trail, and go to your dashboard. Once you're at your dashboard, what we're going to do is go to marketing. And so you're going to look down the tabs to the left, and usually there'll be 3 dots there. And so if you just go to the 3 dots, you'll see marketing up here. And so if you click on that, what it's going to do is pull up the marketing screen here. And so you got marketing tools and features here. You see those? And you got listing machine legacy. That's the old listing machine, and social, and et cetera. So we're most interested in the listing machine, the new listing machine here, this first one right there. And so if you click on get started, it's going to pull up your listing machine for you. And it's going to show you the listings that you have. So this is my listing out there on Seaway Circle. And so that's the listing that I can prepare marketing materials to, and I can view assets right here by clicking this button. But I want to go a little deeper first before I go back and show you what we can do with this. One of the things down below, you have marketing listing kits. See that? So you've got all these kits. Now these kits right here, the listing kit 1, 2, 3, open house kit, etc. These are kits that are company ones that have been set up. They're not particularly good. I set one up for myself. It's called the Jordan listing kit. You can set one up for yourself as well. And so I want to show you how easy that is to do. See this button right here? It says create new kit. Okay, if you click on that, it pulls up a kit settings screen. Now, the first thing you have is you can always make it active, and you can always prioritize it. You can say yes or no. I like making it active and prioritized, which means that every new listing that you have will automatically get this kit, will be prepared for your new listing. So I would set it up just that way. And then I would make it your name. I'm making it Jim's test kit. And I'm not going to make it active or prioritized, but I'm going to name it Jim's test kit. And then in here, I can apply it to all listings or to certain listings. So if it's certain listings, then I pick and choose. But generally, I think you should have this set up for all your listings. And then you have a listing life cycle. So you have just listed. I want it to produce marketing material every time I have a price reduction. So I choose that one. I want marketing material for open houses too. So if I schedule an open house, I want it to prepare marketing material for my open house. So by choosing these little buttons here, you can choose when it prepares new material for you. Now you can also, if you want, you could have just sold, and it would produce just sold for you, like postcards or whatever you might want for just sold. So you could pick and choose what you want in here, what your listing life cycle is. Maybe you only want the media when you create it the first time. Okay, it's going to be branded as your company, which is Realty World. It'll have our colors and etc. Pardon?
Just keep it as my company.
Just keep it as my company. Then down below is the entity. So I could set this for my brokerage, but you want it for you. So it would be, you'd leave it, you're the agent. And then you got a plus here, right? That add items. So now we can start adding items to our kit, our listing kit. So I add items to the kit. The first thing that I I have is print media, right? There's no designs found, okay, under company. But if you go to like modern, you'll see all the templates, all the different designs that they have. And they have flyer designs, they have postcard designs, brochures, door hangers, that kind of thing. Okay, you find it? So for instance, you could pick a flyer design and you can just scroll through these and find a design that you like. Uh, it will, you can pick a design and it has a number of pictures that go with it and et cetera. Those are for flyers. And then if you want a postcard, so if you're going to do just listed postcards, then this is where you would pick your postcard. If you want brochures, something bigger, they're printed on 11 by 17 paper and designed to be folded in half so that you have a 4-page brochure. You can have that. And then you have door hanger designs if you want to go around the neighborhood, hanging information about your listing on all the doors nearby, you can do that. So let's say I've decided, I want a flyer and maybe I want the block 2 pages one. So it tells you up here how many pages are in it. So if it doesn't say anything, it's only 1 page, but I want the 2-page one. So I'm going to choose that. Okay. And that's all I want. So if I go down to the bottom, I scroll down the bottom, I save item to kit. Okay, so now I have 1 item in my listing kit, a flyer. That means that it will, when I get a new listing, it will automatically prepare this flyer for me. Now I can edit it once it's prepared, but it will automatically prepare and notify you that it's prepared this flyer for you. So what do I want next? I want another item in here. So I've done my print media. So how about social media? So if I click on social media, okay, and again, I'll stick with the modern design. So I would stick with consistency in your design. So if you're using traditional design, stick with traditional. If you're using modern for cohesiveness, you might just stick with that. And then you can look down here. So here's main feed designs. So I want a main feed one. So maybe I'll choose that. And I want a square design. Maybe I want a square design as well. Okay, so I'll choose that. So I've got those 2 designs. I don't care about the story, but if you want a story design, then you can choose one of those. You save your item to kit. And so now your kit has a flyer and 2 social media post things that you can use to post on social media. So now I want to add another item. My other choices up here is video on property site. So I do want a video for my property, right? So I choose video. And there's really only 1 design choice for video. So I choose my video one, save the item to kit. Okay, so now I have a video in my kit. And then the last item I may want in there is my property site. So if I hit my property site, and then it allows me to pick a website, and I save that item to my kit. So now I've got this kit all prepared, and I save it. And so got Jim's test kit. So now whenever I have a listing, it would produce all that media for me. It'll set up a website, it'll do all the media for me. And so it's done for you. Now, you may want to go through and edit the media because it may not, so for instance, it picks like the first, for a flyer, it'll pick like the first 4 pictures. Well, you may not want those 4 pictures in your flyer. Because it may, you may have as your first picture may be the front of the house, and then the second picture might be the front door, and the third picture might be the entryway, or however you've organized your pictures. And so it's going to automatically pick off the BLC. So it gets these images from the BLC. So if you want to order those images so that you don't have to redo them, just order them the way you want them on the BLC for the first 10 images. Think, okay, what do I want my first 10 images to be on my flyers, on my, those kind of things. And so then it will pull those in.
Like, I think I got a listing there, like, just like, actually, test it, or any problem, any lock.
Okay, oh, to access this kit, you mean? Well, you use the edit button, okay, to edit it. So if I wanted to come in here and change anything, add anything to material, I can do it here. Keep in mind, this is the kit. This isn't the actual thing. Okay, so I'm going to delete this because it's not a real one. Okay. Now I want to go to my listing. Okay, and view the assets for my listing. So when you go to a listing, so you have to have a listing to be able to look at this. I've got one, so it's going to pull it up here. And it's loading the media for me. And so you can see the marketing material that has been prepared for my listing here, and it's starting to get this all populated. Well, it would automatically do listing kit 1. I didn't have listing kit 1 when I set this up. So some of these are from, some of these are from listing kit 1. Some are things that I've added since then. So for instance, I think this one here, this is a flyer that I've produced.
So once you set up a listing, go to your listings, click on it, and then it will automatically.
Yeah, I'll show you that in a minute. I want to show you just once you get a piece, if you want to look at one of your pieces that you've prepared, that's going to pull it up here for you. And I'll show you how to edit each piece. Now, some of them, like the website and the video, you can't edit. So you can edit the social media posts, you can edit the print media. So for instance, one of the things I wanted was I wanted to make sure I had a flyer without my name on it. Because my philosophy is when I'm putting a flyer, take one flyer thing in a listing, I don't want the list agent to be uncomfortable about their buyer taking one of those flyers with my name plastered all over it, right? So if my name's not on it, then they don't, they're more willing to let their client take one. Okay, so that's just my mindset. You go into listings, you find, yeah. So by doing it that way, you so here's my listing, right? Well, I can edit any of these things by clicking in the box, or up here, you see it when I hover over the picture, it gives me a little pencil. I can click on that and I can crop and edit the image. I could remove that image or I could swap. So if I go swap, it pulls up all my MLS photos. And it allows me then to swap out that photo for any of the other photos that I might want to swap. So that's how you edit.
It's on there over it.
You just hover over it and a little pencil comes up. See that? Right here. Little pencil
Oh,
comes up there.
okay.
That means you can edit it. And then when you click on it, so if I come up here and I click on that, then I get the choice. I can either swap the image, I can crop or edit this image that's there already, or I can remove that image if I don't want an image on there. Now, this flyer, I've already removed my contact information from this flyer because this is one that I prepared that I didn't want any contact information on. So it doesn't have my contact information. Now, this is a 2-page flyer. So on page 2 of the flyer, it's a little slow the way this works. Okay, so here's page 2 of the flyer. And so I've changed these pictures to the way I want. Down here, it would have normally had my contact information. Again, I took all that out because I don't want it in there. But I did add a QR code. So if you want a QR code for your listing, you can just click up here, QR code, and it will give you the website that you can add that to. So this would be my website. So the cool thing about that QR code is with that flyer, so they take the flyer home with them. If they scan that QR code, it takes them directly to my website and to that property website and shows them the property website. And so you see that right there on my Bold Trail website. So it's kind of cool that you can put that in there, that QR code. Now, if you don't want a QR code in there, then you don't have to put one in. That's optional. Over here, you can determine the number of photos if there's a choice. A lot of times you just click it and there's only one choice in the design. And you can choose listing status over here. So, you know, whatever you want it to say, it could say coming soon, just listed, open house, price reduced, just sold, et cetera. So these are our controls over here that allow you to adjust for your listing. Okay. Any questions on that? It's really easy to do, and you can really customize it to fit what you want. Okay. Now, we had a question a minute ago about my listings. So if you go to my listings, and you have your listings here. So I've got Seawave Circle right here. I can view assets. So there's a button here. So if you go to your listings tab, it'll look like this, only it'll only show your listing. Well, it shows my listing. And some of these are past listings, obviously, and sold them. So I can view all the assets that I have for this listing by just clicking the View Assets button, or I can create new assets manually. So if I didn't have the asset, if I didn't have an asset, let's say I in my initial package I didn't do a postcard, but I want one now. I want to send one out to the neighborhood. I could go in and create that just by clicking on the Create button.
How would you add like, say you want to do a, how do you add that to the tools for?
Okay, what you do is when you're doing your asset, okay, create asset. Now, you can create a kit or you can do individual custom assets. So if I go create and design center. Okay. Then I would go in here, let's say I want to do this listing promotion thing, edit design. Right down here is where I can go with an agent or co-agent or team or brokerage. So I can select this down here so that it does the media, the flyer the way I want it, or the information in the flyer. So that's where you would go to set that up for a team. Okay. Okay, so that's Bold Trip, but that's not the only option that you have for doing flyers and property websites and media. You have another option, and that is the Back at You media. So if I go to my Back at You account, and I get there, by the way, just to remind you how to get to Back at You. If I go to Social Bay here from this is my Relium dashboard. Yeah, if I go to Social Bay here, it's going to take me to my Back at You account. Now, it usually asks you to log in, so you'll need to log in for your Back at You account. And usually that's going to be the same credentials that you used to get in your Relium. Usually you set up the same for everything. But if I go to my listings tab on Social Bay, if I go to my listing tabs, there's my listing. And if I look down the side here, I can, they've already set up a property website for this. I can create a listing flyer from here. So if I want something that looks a little different, or I want to do I can schedule a post from here. So if I want to post this on my media, my social media, and keep in mind, you're Back at You, it will post on all your accounts that you have set up. And so let's say I want to view the property website for this listing. It takes a minute to load and pull this up. It pops up with a little thing here. Hi, I'm going to be the first to know about new listings. Tell us about your ideal home and we'll send you new listings. Okay. You have a choice of yes, send me listings first, or down here it says I'll skip for now. So you can skip it. Okay, but it pulls up your website. And so there's my property. So if I could copy this link and I could promote this on social media this way, just with the link, or I could send a link to my clients. And this is another version. So the cool thing is it shows my open house here because they set up an open house for it. By the way, if you're out and about on Saturday between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock, and you happen to be in the Geist area, please stop by my listing and give me your opinion on what I need to do to sell it, because the sellers need to hear it from somebody else besides me. Because I've already told them. One thing is price, but there's some other things too. Well, I guess I could do that, but then that wouldn't be honest. That wouldn't be honest. So Seawave Circle, and so it's got all the information here, and you can do a video chat, you can chat in person, you can fill out a questionnaire here. So it's just another website, and of course they can look through other pictures, you know. Huh? You know.
Saturday through 5.
Oh yeah, Saturday 3 to 5. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, so So there's another source for doing flyers. So if I hit the button for create listing flyer. And this is in your back at you account.
So which one is more user friendly?
Oh, they're both user friendly. It's what you get used to. Okay, so it's what you, the nice thing about Social Bay is that it posts on all your social media for you. But if you set Bold Trail up properly, Bold Trail will do the same thing. Bold Trail's nice because it is a well, I prepared something for this. That's why it's not giving me that, I guess. So if I wanted to, okay, why don't I have any templates suddenly? This is really slow. Okay, so if I go to listing marketing, it shows me all my different templates that I have available. And so if I choose a template, it's going to, so let's say I want this one. Okay, so here's my listing flyer, and it's automatically pulled in all my information. And then I can edit this. So if I don't want something, I can put it in the trash. So I don't want my picture on there, and et cetera. So, and you can edit these. So if anything's wrong here, so this gives you the opportunity to edit. And just another place, another way to produce a flyer. And so it's just to make it easy for you to be able to produce. And these are, again, these are produced for you. You don't have to do a lot. You just pick the template that you want to use. And if you set your picture order right when you put your listing into the BLC, it will already have the best pictures in the proper place. You won't even need to change out pictures. You could just use it as it is. But if you want to get rid of something like I want to get rid of my picture, et cetera, then I can't. All right. So that's the design studio. Okay. But wait, there's more. Okay. You only need one, but for different properties, you may want different look to your media. And the more you can talk about the assets that you can produce for a listing in your marketing plan, it puts you ahead of competition that doesn't have access to be able to put together all these marketing assets. And it's done for you. So it's like having your own personal marketing department, because the flyer is already designed. It pulls from the BLC the information that you put in there, and it makes up these flyers for you. Now, you can print them yourself, or you could take them to a printer. Yes, either way. So when you save a flyer, for instance, it will ask you if you want full bleed, which prints right to the edge of the paper. That's what you'd want if you're going to take it to a printer, or you could have it what they call canvas bleed, which means it stops short of the edge of the paper, so you could print it on your own printer. So, for instance, I print my listing flyers on my own color printer. Okay. So this is all you need to do is pull up your listing in RPR. So that's where we are now. We're in RPR, Realtor Property Resource. You know how to get there. If you go to My Board Central and you click down here, on RPR, you see it right here? Click on that, it'll take you to RPR. And then you just type in your address here and it will pull up your particular information. Notice that it shows my open house. I picked that up from the BLC because I scheduled that through the BLC. And it's got my information here. So now if I want, I could create a report for this. And if I look down here, I have buyer template, seller template, et cetera. So I've got all kinds of reports that I can do for this property. But what I want to do, I'm going to do some marketing, right? So if I go up here to the top, see up here, it says marketing. If I click on that, right here, create a residential property flyer. So I can go through and it will pull up a property flyer for me. Okay. And I can view the sample here. It's a one-page flyer. Here's what it's going to look like. And it's going to pull this information straight out of the BLC. So if I wanted that for my for my use, I can come in here and it says, look, select the photo you want to use on the report. Okay, so if there's so I've selected the main photo on there, right? And then I can come down here and I can put a headline in here. Great home near Geist. Welcome to your dream home. Maybe I want to come through here and highlight some things. So I got a main floor master suite or primary suite. I keep wanting to call it a master suite. So I can bold that. I can italicize, I could underline. And property value to display on my flyer. Okay, I can suppress any of this. Okay, so I could suppress year built, suppress the tax, suppress the subdivision, suppress school district if I want. I can suppress any of these values here. Okay, so that now that I've got my customization done here. Okay, so I've done all my customization. If I hit run report, what it's going to do is it's going to generate the listing for me.
It has to be active.
Has to be active. Well,
I tried to do one that.
yeah, I don't think it will do one that's not active. Okay, so my report has been successfully generated. I can download it. Okay, so here's my flyer that it prepared for me. So great home near Geist. It shows a picture of it where it is in the neighborhood. It's got the main picture. Here's the description that I put in there, and I highlighted or bolded that. And I could do whatever I want here. So it's got all my information, et cetera. So this is another place to go. You can prepare a flyer real quick and easy for a property that you have listed. And it's really easy to do. You saw how long it took me to produce a flyer. And it's got a lot of good information on it. Beds, baths, living area, building area, lot size, garage, year built, tax amount, subdivision, school district, etc. Now, let's say you're wanting to do, you want to do, instead of just a flyer, what you also want is some good information about the property. So for instance, do you know that through RPR you can do a school report? And it's approximately 10 pages long. Now you have to select a school. So I can either, if mine's for entry-level buyers, I might choose the elementary school. If it's for if I think my buyers are gonna have middle school, I could do middle school, or I could do separate reports and combine them all together. But let's say I'm gonna do high school. This is a high school kind of house. It's got a main floor master, 3 bedrooms up. It's the kind of house that parents with teenagers want. Get them on a separate floor, get them out of my hair. Right? So I select that. Now, one word of caution, and I'll show you what my word of caution is. So it's going to generate this school report for Lawrence Central High School. And it's going to have 10 pages of information that I can then print out and put with my flyer in the property. So I have school information. Okay, so when it pops up here, there we go, there's my report. So I download my report. Okay, so it shows where the school district is, okay? And for the high school. Now, here's the downside of school reports. If you look at this, Lawrence Central High School does not look like a very good school. You got B's, C plus, B minus, C. Here's the worst part though. You come down here, reviews, community reviews for this school. Being that my child is a distinguished honor student, I haven't had any problems to where I had to attend parent meetings due to behavioral issues or come to the school for anyone disrespecting my child, making her feel threatened of any form of bullying. So far, so good. I stand 100% behind my child and anything she, whatever. The next one, LC did not prepare me well for scholarship searching, and theater department was woefully snubbed. The culture isn't really one of unity. It's more about keeping students contained. And usually the best, most open teachers are the ones who don't represent admin. So you might want to read that before you would put that in your listing. So am I going to put this in my listing? Nah, not a chance. Okay, now I'm guessing if you were looking at a Carmel school report for Carmel High School, or you were looking for a school report for HSE High School, you probably see a lot better report to publish. So just a word to the wise. But it can also be, you know, someone says, you know, hey, what are the Lawrence schools? What's Lawrence Central High School like? Okay, instead of you telling them, you can say, I can print off school information for you. I'll print it off and I'll send it to you. And that way they can make their own judgment. Okay. So, you know, if they're trying to decide, well, do I want Lawrence Township or do I want Fishers, print them off the 2 reports and let them read and make their decision for themselves. That way you're not on the hook. You're not liable for giving them information that isn't, you know, you don't want to say bad things about a school district, right? Okay. The final place where you can do things is the good old BLC. All right. So if you go into the BLC and you see your picture up here in the upper right, if you click on that, it gives you a little dashboard here and you can go directly to your listings and your transactions. So if you click on that, it's going to pull up and it's going to show you all of your listings and all of your transactions. So even if it's not your listing, it's going to show it here. So you can see mine. So you can see I have 2 pending transactions.
Where do you see in the BFC? The office.
Up here in the upper right.
The office transactions, like what are the listings in the office here? Like just really well for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, when this is in your own BLC, when you log into the BLC. Yeah.
So if I want to see what are the active listings in the office, so I only see.
Oh, well, yeah, you can do that. This is going to show you yours. Okay, this shows you yours. That's what this choice is. My listings transactions. Okay, that you can go over here and you can look at your company listings and et cetera. But for now, we want to look at ours because there's something we want to do. So I've got an active listing, right? And so if I click the little pencil, that takes me to the edit screen. And you see down here, I have manage documents. If I click on that, this takes me to the section where I can add documents. So I can add promotional material or my seller's disclosure or my HOA thing, whatever. So you can see that I have some documents here. So I uploaded a document that says what seller loves about their home. And so that I had them write a little letter to the potential buyer telling them, this is what we loved about our home. And I post that in the home and make it available for people to download. But up here, you got some cool things. You can create a flyer.
Oh,
Wow, who would have thought? So if I click on that, okay, it pulls up information. So first of all, I want to select a template. So I've got different templates in here. So let's say maybe I want multiple photos or thumbnail photos or whatever. So I choose multiple photos and it shows me kind of what it's going to look like. And then you do have to pick a client. So I just have myself in here so I can choose myself as a client. But you could choose your seller too. Their name is not going to be on here. But I'm just going to choose myself right here. Okay. And then it's got your listing ID, right? That it's auto-populated because you picked it from that listing, remember? So now I hit continue. Hmm,
Shocker, it's the worst of the,
hmm?
shocker, it's the worst of the three.
yes, it is. Not, however, it is the worst, but it has some cool features to it. So you can change these out by choosing a file and then attaching it. Okay. But some of these, like on the one that has thumbnails, it allows you to caption your photos. So it's got some unique things that you can do. You can change this part here. You can change this part down here, and you can choose whether or not to display your photo and things of that sort. Okay. So you can do this, and then you go generate flyer report. And here's your quick and easy flyer. All prepared for you. Pulled all the information out of the BLC and put the pictures in there. And I mean, it's a basic flyer. It's nothing fancy, but it's a quick flyer. So if you needed some flyers just to hand out at an open house, you could use this. Now, of all of them, I think that the ones that you can do through Old Trail with the QR code on it are the best. But you have all these other options too. So I want you to know that you have choices and you have options of done for you flyers that if you're looking for something quick, these fit the bill. We'll do it for you. So that's my listing resources presentation. Any questions that you have? No questions? Okay. Let's stop the recording.